Welcome on in. We have a fusion starting Thursday, July 3rd. It's going to be a hybrid fusion for this dude right here, Titus Blackplume. And we're going to be going over his kit here today. Welcome in. My name is PJ. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and let's get right to it. So like I said, he is going to be a hybrid fusion. So it's going to be, we need to get fragments to then like fuse into the epics, then to fuse again into the legendary for him. So it's generally a little bit more of a tough one. So keep that in mind. We're going to be taking a look at his kit here. Hold up, guys. Now is the perfect time to click on my link in the description and get a free Karato as well as 4 more insane free epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Log out of player and play on PC and uninstall. Step 2. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4. Go to the inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato after signing up, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. So click on my link right now and let's crush this together. A1 attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a block active skill debuff for 2 turns. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under a shield buff, and then that will book up to a 60% chance. Whenever an ally counterattacks, teams up with allies to attack or instantly activates a skill, has a 40 books up to a 60% chance to place a block active skill debuff for 2 turns on the target enemy. If there are multiple champions on the team, will only activate once. Pretty good, as long as he has a shield, which we'll take a look at his kit more. He doesn't bring a shield himself. You're gonna have to bring either a blood shield accessory or some type of other shield champion, either bolster, shield set, or a champion that brings shield to pair along with him. But it's pretty nice. Block active skill in the A1 is very strong. He's also a defensive defense champion, Void, Bannerlord. So I didn't mention that earlier. Just wanted to mention that real quick. Void defense. So pretty tough to get. Void champions are usually harder to get than the rest, so keep that in mind when we're talking about his kit as well. The one thing that I do want to mention here is that the first part says this effect cannot be resisted if they're under a shield buff. This part, it does not. So if he is under a shield buff, does this still mean it cannot be resisted, or because it doesn't say anything about that? So that's one thing we'll have to test and see. Hopefully it still won't be resisted. I'm not sure why it wouldn't, but the wording in these can be kind of confusing, so we'll have to, I think a lot of this is going to be play testing and seeing how it goes. But that's one thing that I want to mention here, that on this part says if it's under shield can't be resisted, but doesn't mention in the second part, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Alright, let's look at the A2. Attacks on enemy. This attack is always critical if this champion is under a shield buff. This attack also gains a damage boost equal to the value of shield. Removes all debuffs from all allies if the target is killed. If the target survives, places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Instead, this effect cannot be resisted if it's under shield, and then that books down to a 3 turn and gets a couple 20% damage from books. Yeah, I'll talk about this more after we look at the A3 as well, but I just feel like the synergy in this champion doesn't really make sense. I still think he's worth going for just because he's a Void champion, but just looking at his kit, I feel like he's very weird off the kit. So it looks like you don't need to build crit, so you want to build crit damage if you want to do damage for him. And then we'll take a look at the A3, but the A3 you don't really want to build crit damage, so that's one of the reasons why I think it's kind of counterproductive. If you want this move to do damage, you need crit damage, but then he's going to kill himself faster with the ally protection. So it doesn't really kind of counter synergy there. The provoke can be nice in Hydra. This dude could be nice in Hydra if you need a provoker and some survivability. The block active skills doesn't do anything for Hydra, but the A2 and A3 could be pretty good for the Hydra, and of course the passive could be good as well. So yeah, I don't know. The not having a shield in his kit, I feel like kind of hurts him as well. Depending on how hard he hits, could be kind of a cleanse, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the A2 is super weird and not big a fan of the A2 unless it hits really hard, but then it kind of has big counter synergy with the A3, and we'll take a look at that. The A3 places an ally protection buff, increased attack and increased speed buff on a single target for 2 turns, also fills out allies terminated by 40%. That's really nice, and then instantly activates this skill at the end of an ally's turn if that ally has no buffs and their HP is lower than 100%. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only activates once. So this is really strong. There doesn't, I wonder if this has a cooldown or no cooldown. Very interested. And then also if this is going to count as a use for the A3, or if it won't count as a use. Like sometimes it will like have frack, his passive, he'll activate his passive. If someone dies, he'll use his A2 but doesn't put it on reset. And then other champions, I can't think off the top of my head, but I think they might put their skill on cooldown. So depending on how that works could be an issue. And also if this has no passive or not, this could be very, very strong. And then this is what I want to say about kind of like the synergy or the counter synergy. Your ally protection champions, you don't really want to give them crit damage because the way that the game works and coded, the more crit damage your ally protection champion has, the more damage they're receiving from the ally protection. Doesn't make sense, but that's how it is. So with that being said, I don't really like the synergy on this. I keep saying it, but for this, if he wants to do damage, you need to build crit damage, and then if you want him to live, you can't build crit damage. So one of these is going to be taking a big hit. This kind of stinks. I really wish they would have had a shield in his kit. Kind of stinks that it doesn't. And then the other thing that it feels like counter synergy is you need to have a shield on him if you want to do the unresistible stuff. But that means that if you have a shield on him, unless he's in blood shield, which blood shield you need to get damage off, you need to do damage to get the shield, and like the more damage you do, the bigger shield you get. This dude's probably not going to be doing that much damage. So even if you do run blood shield, it's going to be a tiny shield. It'll probably just break easily, which then you won't get the effect. So if you bring a big shield, your allies will be under buffs, and this only activates if they have no buffs. Which I mean, granted, I guess you wouldn't go build around this itself, but I feel like there's just a lot of counter synergy in this champion. I don't really like it, but I do think the A3 is really good. So where could this be good? Depending on how it works, could be good if like a Trunda team, could be kind of like a budget Shuzen, or like Lamasu, where you're giving turn meter and increase attack, increase speed, ally protection to one champion. I'm not sure how this is going to work on Auto. Very interested to see what target prioritizes. This is going to be more of a manualing move, I feel like, or unless we can kind of predict where it's going to go for Auto. Might be kind of tough, so keep that in mind. Doesn't seem very auto friendly, seems more of a manual champion, but I feel like this paired with the passive could do really good for Trunda. So each time an enemy hits an ally, that ally's next skill will deal 10% more damage for each hit. They take stacks up to 100%. The damage increase resets after the ally deals damage. So you could do like a really slow Trunda or a really slow damage dealer. Just have Hydra just keep hitting them. And even if you don't get the full 100% stack, even if you get 50% stack or 30% stack, I mean, that's still more bonus damage than you were doing before, right? So even if you don't get the full 100%, any little bit helps in Hydra, even if it's 10%, 20%. Obviously, if you can get that 40, 50, 60%, that'd be even better, but even if it's on the lower end, it's still going to be a damage boost and more than what you had before, which is nice. And then the aura, I really hate the aura. Terrible aura. Increases void ally HP in all battles by 40%. First of all, he's a defense champion. I guess it's maybe supposed to be for the shield, but you're gonna have to bring a void. It only benefits a void champion that brings shield. So like Mariska, Necrit, there's other champions, but those are the two off the top of my head. Terrible. Like, don't make it void only. He's a void champion. He's supposed to be like really good and helping other people. I feel like the aura is terrible. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you guys like the aura or not, but I feel like the aura is a big miss. And in general, I don't really like his kit. Like, I think he's a champion that we should get and go for, and I'm going to be doing him. I feel like he's going to be more of a champion where people are going to have to play test him and see how he works in game, and there might be some broken comps with the passive and the A3. But generally, I feel like there's a lot of not making sense in his kit. Let me know if I'm wrong and if you guys disagree. And I still think everyone should go for him. Like I said, he's a void champion, very hard to get void legendaries, so he's worth going for. But on the other hand, I feel like his kit is kind of all over the place. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think, and we'll have a good discussion. The only thing that I do think he could be good for again is Chimera. I think Chimera, he could be nice for the block active skills. That's one thing that we do need to bring for buffs. And then the eye protection, increase attack, increase speed with the passive instant turn, or not the instant turn, but the turn meter could be kind of nice. The provoke isn't going to really help you much in Chimera. Could be good in Hydra though, especially if you have a shield. Unresistible provoke is always good. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of up in the air for the kit itself. Maybe I'm off. And I do think that there could be some really broken things that he could potentially do, just depending on how he works in the game. Like a lot of the things that we read and then how they actually interact in the game are way different. So I think this is going to be one of those champions where you don't want to miss them, but I don't know quite how effective he's gonna be. Which kind of stinks because I know you're like, well, if he's not gonna be that good, then why should I go for him? It's just the potential, and it's also that he's a void legendary. But if you guys are like out of resources, if you guys are stressing, there's been a lot of events, tournaments happening. If you guys need a break, then take a break. Like, it's supposed to be a game at the end of the day. It's supposed to be fun. Don't be stressing. If you can't do it, don't do it. But if you have the resources and you're on the fence, I think it's worth it. But I don't really like his kit. So yeah, kind of counterintuitive, but yeah, I still want to go for him personally. Let me know. Hit that like, leave a sub, and or I should say, hit that sub, leave a like, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.